Hello again, guys, girls, everyone. I don't know what to say. So, what happened was it started off pretty well, and when I saw everything was going well, I kept on going. But I had no control over the fact that the streaming stopped in between, and I did not even realize I completed the full session. And then I got to know from Vivek that it did not stream at all. So I know, there are some good days, some bad days, and today is definitely a bad day for me. I am really, really sorry for this inconvenience caused, and I'm also sorry for the fact that I cancelled the yesterday's session. I was very unwell. I initially thought I had some of the symptoms like headache and a little bit of fever, but I don't have COVID, so yay for me. I'm perfectly fine now. So let's start. So before we start, today we are going to talk about B School Selection Part 3. Today we are going to talk about placements and profiles. So what kind of profile you should have and what kind of placements can you expect with this kind of a profile. Now, before I go on, again, a couple of important notifications. First is that the personalized B School guidance is still on. So thank you for all the people who have filled up the form. I have actually replied to each and every one of them who filled up till 17th. 23rd of September. If you have filled up in the last 5 or 6 days, I have not seen it yet, but I will definitely, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to talk to me about anything, please send me a WhatsApp or you can give me a call, and I'm more than happy to help you out. For all the topmeister students, we will be having a personalized session with you regarding the guidance and everything at the end of October. So we will give you the communications in due course. So yeah, that's something which I wanted to tell you guys. B School survey. Now, a couple of days back, we did a B School survey with the current students who are studying in B School and also the students who have graduated from the various B Schools. And we have collected a lot of insights from them. And I've gathered some of the insights and I decided to do this session. And that's how their insights will also be taken into place when I'm actually addressing this to you today. Okay, so MBA in the time of COVID, the last two parts we already discussed about location, faculty, why you should be doing an MBA, etc. If you want to view those particular videos, I have given the links in the description below. Please click on the link to watch those videos. Today we are talking about profile placements. Next week we will be discussing about percentiles that you require for each and every B school and how you can fund your education. So this is basically it. If you want to join our LRDI and quantitative aptitude course, which is still going on, there are special offers which we are giving. So if you want to join, the links have been given in the description below. You can contact us. We can tell you how you can buy the course, or you can just click on the link and buy the course anyways. The group discussion personal interview course is starting from right after CAT. So we will give the notification and the communication will be out in due course. Okay, so let's begin again. Okay, so when it comes to doing an MBA, while we prepare for MBA, we often get lost in the CAT exam so much so that we tend to avoid the minute details involved about how to select the business school based on our profile. Now, I always tell my students that always choose the business school that you deserve, not the business school that you need. Because when you're talking about need, or when a need comes into picture, you're talking about more of compulsion rather than a choice. I need the job. I need to do this. I need to get into this business school at any cost. So again, when you're running out of options, you tend to make decisions which temporarily may be good, but in the long run, the implications are not that great. So I definitely suggest, it's your career, so take the best decision. But when you're taking the best decision, make sure you consult with different kinds of people, speak to different kinds of people, and also figure out some criteria which would be good for you. I will come to the criteria a bit later, but let me just explain what I am talking about the deserving part, why you should choose a B school that you deserve and not need, with an example. Okay, so let's consider this particular genius guy, who has had a very good academic performance. So 10, 12 graduation, let's say around 80%, average score of 80%, working in a company with 2 to 3 years of experience, nice or good technical expertise, and he has two options. One is basically on the left hand side, if you see in this picture, with the black hat, business school ABCD, which provides an average placement of, let's say, 14-15 lakhs, and has a very, very diversified batch with non-engineers, engineers, maybe doctors, etc., etc. And he has the other option, which is choose a business school, which I've in the picture, if you see, it's with a yellow hat, with, let's say, average placement of about 9 to 10 lakhs, and let's say 8 to 10 lakhs, and a decently diversified batch, but not as diversified as ABCD. Also, this guy is someone who is earning about 6 to 7 lakhs already in his current job. Now, the question is, which B school do you think he should choose? Obvious answer. Yeah, obviously, the first one. It was a pretty easy one. Anyone will be able to make this choice. But frankly speaking, life is not that easy. All the choices that we make, all the decisions that we make is basically driven by a certain behavioral pattern that we have. And that's one of the reasons why, when we are taking some decisions, we need to keep some factors into consideration. Mainly, I suggest 5 factors. I usually call them SB5, because it's Sucharita Banerjee 5. It's pretty obvious. So let's see what the 5 factors are, and let's see how you can utilize these 5 factors or 5 variables and choose the business school of your dreams, as well as the business school that you deserve, right? Okay, first one, years of experience. Now, when it comes to years of experience, why is it so important when you're choosing a business school? Think about the fact that if you are someone, let's say a marketing person who is skilled in, let's say, softwares like Marketo or Salesforce, you have been working for, let's say, 3 years, 3 to 3.5 years, average experience, in a good position, you have excellent stakeholder management skills, amazing multitasking skills, can prioritize. A lot of times you follow the agile way of working, and you're aware of all these concepts. How do you think a business school is going to help you? How do you perceive that this business school will actually give me something more than what I'm already learning with my hands-on experience in my current job? So this is something which you need to evaluate. So always write down the points which you are already gaining from your current job, and compare them with what you can get out of it from joining this particular business school. Now, for example, if when I talk about years of experience, I'll give you my example. So when I went for my MBA, when I decided to finally go for my MBA, and I had the funds to sponsor my own education, by that time I already had about close to 4.5 years of experience, 4.5 to 5 years of experience. So that was a time when I decided I have to go for my MBA, but because in India, I think choices were limited for me because I knew with this kind of an experience only I could gain if I had a study abroad program. So I went abroad, got a scholarship, huge scholarship, went abroad, studied there. And the reason I benefited so much from that course is because of the diversity of the batch that we had. One of the reasons was because of the years of experience of the people. So I did my MBA somewhere around 26, 27. 27 actually I started. It was a 1-year course, and that was the same time when I studied with people. I was one of the youngest in the class because I studied with people where they were 38, 40. The average age was 35. People with working in MNCs, with 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience. And what I realized is I gained much more from the people I studied with because I was with them almost on a daily basis. We used to have these case studies, and most of our assignments were group assignments. So whatever inputs and insights I gained was unmatchable. And that really helped me in the long run. And this is something I always suggest my students, that whenever you're choosing a business school, choose the years of experience, because you choose a school or a college where the students who you're studying with or your colleagues are better than you, not the other way around. Because in that way is what happens, you are learning more than you're giving more. So you learn more from them rather than just giving away your knowledge and your expertise when it comes to the exchange of knowledge and ideas and etc. So years of experience is very, very important. I will have grouped the business school categories that you can choose based on years of experience. I'll come to that a little later. So let's go to the next factor or variable which you should consider. Academic profile. Oh, this is an amazing one. Okay, so academic profile is something basically it tests, or it actually makes you or guilts you to believe that whatever you did in the past was not good, or whatever mistakes you made in your past needs to be repaid in this life itself. For example, if you are someone with let's say an average academics of 60, 10, 12th, or 65, 10, 12th, because of n number of reasons, or even you did very well in your 10th and 12th, like 90%, but in graduation CGPA was messed up, because again of n number of reasons, you will find a way, you will actually face this kind of a question like, can you explain your academics? Why so low scores? So you will have to be answerable to the people when you go to a business school. A very simple reason is because why business schools look at academic profile is because when it comes to placing the students, when the final placements happen in the business schools, a lot of companies are there who actually stress on academics. They will see your scores, if not 10th, but sometimes 12th, if not 12th, but definitely they look at your graduation scores. And if your graduation performance has not been good, it becomes a bit difficult to get into the company of your choice. So that's one of the reasons why business schools try to select the cream out of the people who have good academics. However, not to worry about, there have been a lot of students in the past who, even with low academics, have gotten into decent B schools. There were two reasons why. One was because they portrayed an amazing profile of theirs with respect to extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities, projects, internships, or work experience, or the technical expertise that they have. Or they have also proven themselves to be really good with respect to their MBA, in the MBA course. So I usually suggest, if you have low CGPA in your graduation, try to make it up with a good CGPA in your MBA college. Try to be on the top 25% of the class, because then it becomes much easier for you to get placed in the company that you want to go for. So academic profiles are important. Well, there are some IIMs. Usually IIMs actually look at the academic profiles, but usually a lot of private colleges do not. They do, but if they see that your CAT scores are low, then they will go into academics. So there are a lot of ways they actually juggle when they are hiring a student. If you want a specialized assistance with respect to understanding whether your academics are good enough or not, you can always fill up the B School assistance form, and we will help you out. Ideally, if you are in above 75% on an average, you are kind of safe. For engineers, if you are around 80% on an average, 10-12 graduation, you're kind of safe. Again, there are multiple factors which determines, right? Okay, next. Mock CAT scores. Okay, this is something which you guys are aware of. You're not, it's something which, I'm not speaking Greek to you with respect to this part. Definitely mock CAT scores are very important. Reason, very simple, CAT is not a absolute score exam. CAT is a percentile based exam, a relative performance, which means that how better you are than the people who are writing the examination. So, I usually, if you have good mocks, it gives you a good idea about what can you score in the main CAT examination. For example, if you are getting an 80-85 percentile, you can expect slightly above 85, so between 85 to 90 percentile. If you are getting about 90 percentile to 95 percentile, you can expect somewhere above 95 percentile. Very simple reason is because when you're giving these mocks from institutes like IMS, Time and CL, not all the students who write CAT, not all the 190 or 2 lakh students who write CAT give, I'm taking an average number of CAT applicants because every year it changes, so all those students who are writing CAT, not all the CAT applicants will write mocks. The ones who are really, really serious about their preparation will write the mocks. So in the long run, when you are going and writing mock CATs, in the long run, when you're going and writing the main CAT examination, definitely your performance will be better because you will also be competing against those who have not been serious throughout. Now, I always tell you to evaluate your mock CAT scores. So the last 6 mock CAT scores that you have taken, see what has been your performance in those. Usually you get somewhere similar to those, that percentile or above that percentile, unless you really mess it up. There can be n number of reasons. One is decision making, the wrong kind of decision making. You decided to start with the difficult ones. You wasted a lot of time with the difficult questions, and you did not end up doing the easy questions, and you went short of time. So that can also be a reason. So that's why also mock CATs help you, because then you are completely prepared for what you can expect in the main examination, the pattern, the fact that you need to sit there for 2 to 3 hours and write, that is also a factor. There are a lot of people who smoke, it becomes very difficult for them, so that also checks you, how much time can you sit there battling your nicotine addiction. So all these factors come into place. Or there can be other reasons also. If you see a really good invigilator and you think your invigilator is cute and you just get provocated, that can also mess up your mock CATs. But I am sure that your main CAT examination, but I'm sure that's not going to happen. So write mock CATs. A lot of people who have filled up the B School forms have asked me. I've still not given any of the mock CATs. If you have not, start doing that. Okay, next one. Expenses and savings post MBA. Very, very important reason why, because when you're going for this particular factor, when you're evaluating this variable, always compare yourself with what you've been getting pre-MBA and what you will be getting post-MBA. So for example, if you're someone who is getting about let's say 6 lakhs per annum, 6 to 7 lakhs per annum before MBA, and post MBA, and you end up saving, let's say, around 30,000 per month. Let's say I'm giving just an approximate figure. Now you need to see a lot of things before going into this, evaluating this particular variable. After MBA, there will be a lot of expenses of yours. There'll be, if you have taken up loans during your MBA studies, the EMIs. There are a lot of times when you are working in before MBA, you're working in a company which is not on a metropolitan city. So the standard of living and the cost and everything would be slightly lesser than what you find in the metro cities. So let's say if most of the times you get placed in the metro cities, so let's say you get placed in Mumbai, the cost of living is huge. So you will be spending a lot there. Then there will be miscellaneous expenses. And one of the most important part, what happens is after MBA, your lifestyle changes drastically. You need to network with a lot of people, you need to maintain yourself, you need to keep yourself, you need to buy clothes, you need to, for office, a lot of things are there, for food and etc., parties and etc., etc., etc. So ideally, if a person is getting a 6 to 7 lakh before MBA, saving 30,000, you should ensure that you save up more than that after MBA. So let's say you end up in a college which pays you about 10 lakh CTC, right? Card peet ke, after all the deductions, let's say you get about 70 to 80,000 per month. Again, it's an approximate figure I'm taking. So 25,000 goes on your rent, then your EMI again 10 to 15,000, then let's say your food and expenses and everything. And after everything, after deducting everything, you calculate that your savings are roughly the same as what you used to save before MBA. Then why would you do an MBA? What isn't the additional variable that an MBA is adding you to, or that particular B school is giving you? So obviously knowledge is there. Obviously the expertise is there. But again, with respect to placements and the kind of profile that you develop during an MBA is very important. So whether if you're working as a social media executive at this point of time after MBA, will you be working as a social media manager or not? That is also important. Are you getting a promotion by doing an MBA or after doing an MBA? So all these things matter a lot. So always try to, again, make a table, see what your expenses are, see what your expenses will be, check the business schools which can give you that kind of, extrinsic motivation. See what kind of profile you're at this point of time right now. See what profile you will have after an MBA. So calculate all these or evaluate all these and analyze the situation that you are right now. Because let's face it, MBA is a costly course. So you need to take your decision very, very wisely. Let's go to the next one, background check. Okay. So it's just like any other company. So when you're going for a company, a placement in a company, you do a lot of background checks about that company. You talk to different people who are working in the company, or you talk to some experts of the industry and find out whether the company has a good work culture, what kind of benefits do the company give an employee, whether there are enough courses that you can go for which the company sponsors, etc., 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 right? So similarly, even a business school, you need to ensure that you do the background check. So understand this. A lot of times what you see during admission is slightly different than what you actually get after admission. That's one of the reasons why always talk to an alumni, speak to them, see what their, what they think about it. Or you can speak to people like us who will help you to select the correct B school for you. Okay, but this is also very, very important. Do the background check. Okay. Now, this is the table that I was talking you about. This is a pretty simple table. Again, I have not mentioned the name of the business schools because that is something which I'll be covering up in the next session. So, I've divided it into 4 groups: recently graduate or final year of graduation, up to 2 years of experience, more than 2 but less than 4, and 5 years or more. Now, ideally, the fresh graduates are the people who are like in the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, even colleges like a lot of colleges like Great Lakes, PGDM program, or GIM and TAPME, KJ. All these colleges are good for you guys. These are the colleges which will help you out because you're fresh graduates. Just after graduation, you cannot expect, if you have not worked anywhere or you have a gap in your profile, you cannot expect that you will get the position of a head of marketing or a head of operations positions, or maybe a strategy lead or a consulting lead in a consulting firm. You cannot expect these kind of positions, not at all. So if you have that kind of an expectation, forget it. It's not going to happen right after MBA. Obviously, after 3 to 4 years, you will definitely get into that position, but right after MBA, you will not. So get your expectations correct. Ideally, I say that placements around an average of 8 to 10 lakh CTC, least of 7 lakh CTC is something you should be getting, and choose a B school which can give you that. Okay, so tier 1 and tier 2 are basically the IIMs and the top IIMs and IIT and IIFT and all these kind of colleges. Again, I will give you the colleges with respect to their tiers and their percentile in the next session. Okay, up to 2 years of experience, tier 1, tier 2, and some of the colleges from tier 3 also you can choose. Again, depends on what kind of profile you're having at this point of time, how much are you earning, what are your expectations. One of the most important thing is with respect to changing your profile. So let's say you are in marketing right now, but after you're doing an MBA because you want to shift to a finance sector, the finance field, you want to finance as a specialization. So again, because you're changing the specialization, you cannot expect the same amount of salary that you were getting there, because you will be starting as a fresher after MBA in the finance field. So all these kind of factors will be important when you're going for your placements. So make sure you also evaluate that. Again, on an average, 18 to 12 lakhs is the average CTC, 8 lakhs is the minimum. More than 2 but less than 4 years, I've already talked about. The more your experience is, it becomes a little difficult for you to find the business school of your choice, again because of the placements. So it's again like a job. So if you go for a job interview, usually the recruiter asks you, what are your salary expectations? This is a very important question that the recruiter asks you. A very simple reason is because they want to evaluate whether if the salary that they are offering for that position is good enough for you or not, so that even if you agree to join on a lower salary, you might not get motivated or stay motivated during the job because you were earning much higher before. And that's the reason they actually prefer not to take candidates who have high experience, if they cannot afford them. So this is one of the reasons why you should choose colleges usually from tier 1 or tier 2. The top 20 to 25 colleges is something which you should be looking at. 15 to 18 lakhs average placements with a 14 lakh minimum salary, something which you should be expecting. Again, it also depends on what you were earning before. If you were earning 3 to 4 lakhs, definitely you cannot expect a 14 lakh salary, then a minimum. That will go down a little bit. So as I said, you need to calculate your pre-MBA and post-MBA expenses and salary. That comes into picture as well. 5 years or more, I am PGPX, GMP, IXLRI, and study abroad programs is something which I usually suggest, or you can do an executive MBA also. Ideally, if your experience or if your salary or your position, let's say, is of a senior manager getting about 17, 18 lakh salary, let's say I'm talking about, then definitely you should expect something over 20 lakhs, right? So choose a B school which will be able to help you with that. Okay, so ideally, if you see this table, it's not rocket science. It is a pretty simple table. Even evaluating your experience is definitely not rocket science. Check the placements of the college and choose the one that ticks most of the criteria, check boxes that I've given it to you. However, these kind of decisions are not easy to make. Again, you need to consult an expert for that as well, but make sure you evaluate all your points, put it on a piece of paper and try to see what you can get out of it, right? Ideally, I suggest make a 5-year plan, because in 5 years, if you are making a 5-year plan, you are pretty much in the safe zone. You know what you should do, what you have at this point of time, and what changes should you make in your skills, what extra skills should you add in your career or in your life, and where you want to reach, what is your end goal after 5 years. so if you have a plan, then it becomes easier for you to move accordingly. So have a 5-year plan. Play with the resources that you have in your hand. Obviously, there are external factors which will drive you down sometimes. For example, COVID. You have no control over it, so don't think about it so much. Stick to your plan and you make use of the resources you have. Now, there are a lot of times nowadays what is happening is people are forgetting that the situation right now is pretty difficult. On LinkedIn, on social media sites, you will find a lot of people are looking for jobs and being really helpless about the job market and everything. I usually suggest, please don't look at those posts. It's good to be informed, but at this point of time, you need to be positive, optimistic, and you need to take the right decision. Those kind of posts will actually make you pessimistic and will undermine your self-respect. So try to avoid that for some time, till the time at least you finish your examination, right? Always understand, unless we die, we all die, turn into zombies or something happens, we are going to survive this. Markets will open. And by the time you all graduate, it will be 2023. Everything is going to be back in place. There will be a lot of jobs that would be created. So not to worry about, right? 2008, we survived the financial crisis. If the world can survive that, we can definitely beat this shitty virus. So yes, do not make that mistake. For now, I would suggest you, if you have evaluated everything, if you have put in a piece of paper, you have put all the points, you have written down all the points based on the variables that I have given you, congratulations, you have decided your future, good for you, we are there to help you out, and now you can concentrate on your CAT examination. Now, a very important part which I want to talk to you about is building your profile, which is really, really important. If you have not started it, you can start it now, or you can start during the GDPI course. That's usually the kind of assistance that is given during the GDPI course. So right now, you can just focus on your CAT examination and evaluate your options based on the business schools, right? Now, this is something which is pretty easy. Now, there is not a lot of effort that you will take. You will take max to max a week to do it, taking like 1 or 2 hours, 1 hour every day, not more than that. I think you can afford that. Please write your mock examinations, mock CATs. That's really important. That's it for today. I have also had discussed some of the questions that came in the previous stream, but unfortunately the stream ended. So although I answered it, you all could not hear it. So I am going to answer again the previous questions. So, okay. So for one of them talked about how to be fluent in English for interviews. Okay. Now, as I said, English is something which is important when you are going for your business school interviews. But more than English, they don't want to see how good, communication does not mean how good are you in English. They want to see your communication with respect to whatever you know, whether you can communicate that, or whether the other person who is listening to you can understand that or not. So unfortunately, that has been done in English. So if your English is not that strong, or you're not that fluent, fair enough, you can speak slowly, not a problem. But still, if you want to get the actual answer to what to do, there are numerous things you can do. One is you can constantly watch a lot of shows or news or everything, whatever you're watching on television or Netflix. Do not watch Hindi movies or Bollywood movies. Try to watch English movies. It actually helps you. Turn the subtitles on. So if you're watching an English movie, turn the Hindi subtitles so you understand what's this translation. Or you can do the other way around. You can watch it in Hindi, but understand. Turn the English subtitles on. Something like that you can do. One of the main things which I tell you to do is stand in front of the mirror, write an article about yourself. So, for example, one of the common questions that comes in business schools is tell me about yourself. So, you can write a small passage on that, and you can stand in front of the mirror and speak. First few rounds, you can speak by looking at the paper, then you can just speak without looking at the paper. Third is you can read a lot of newspapers. With respect to newspapers, I mean digital newspapers. I suggest one site which is The Guardian. They have very good articles. The way the grammar and the composition is being made in the articles are amazing. So whenever you don't understand anything, take your dictionary with you, try to find the words which you don't understand and understand what they are trying to say. See how it is being done, how the passage has been comprehended. So these are some of the ways in which you can improvise in your English. Later on, in detail, we usually help you out with when we are doing the GDPI preparation. Yeah. So I hope that this helps. For now, just concentrate on these 3 parts. Next question was, does batch size play a part? And then there was another question which says, should we look at the size while choosing a college? I think it's the same question. So yes, batch size do play a part. Obviously, they're the top tier 1, tier 2, and some of the tier 3 colleges, the colleges which are really renowned and have good placements and have good faculties and in a good location. Maybe not, but usually it matters. For most of the colleges, very simple reason. So let me explain it to you with an example. So let's say Top My Test, we are hiring people from a business school, and we have decided that we have 10 positions to fill, and out of 10 we will allocate 6 to B School ABCD and 4 to B School XYZ, let's say. Okay, so we already have in mind how many students we are going to take. Now if the batch size is huge batch size, then the competition increases, right? So you need to ensure that you are in the top 25% of the batch in that case, so that you can have a good shot at the placement, right? So if you are in the top 10% of the batch size, then maybe we will, and your interview goes well, then instead of rejecting you straight away, we can actually give you a chance to speak and express yourself, and you might get selected as well. So this is the reason why batch size actually matters. So yes, to a certain extent it does. So always try to be on the top of the class. Next question. SPJN profile based call for freshers. Okay, so SPJN, so I'm hoping what the students want, the particular person wants to know is what is a profile based call. So SPJN profile based call is very simple. They, irrespective of what CAT scores you have, ideally recommended CAT score is about 90 percentile. But apart from that, they give you, I mean, their main emphasis is on your profile. So profile, if you have experience, how many years of experience you have, what kind of work you have done in the company, what are your achievements in the company. This is something which they love looking at. So emphasize on the achievements, then the expertise that you have learned, so the technical skills that you have learned. Are you, if you're a data scientist, what do you specialize in? Are you good in Python? Are you good in SQL? So all these things actually matter, so they want to see that. For freshers, if you are a fresher, then in that case they will look at your 10th, 12th graduation performance. Ideally 85% on an average is good enough. Plus they want to see how good were you in extracurricular activities, how did you participate in a lot of competitions, if you did, have you won in any kind of national competitions, then co-curricular activities as well. What kind of co-curricular activities were you involved with, what are your hobbies, what did you do? So for example, I had a student once who learned how to play guitar in a very good manner, like advanced level guitar, just looking at YouTube videos and online. And he is now a very good guitar player. And he explained the entire process of how he learned guitar and what did he learn out of it, what kind of skills did he develop out of it. So colleges like doesn't want to know exactly what your skills are, but doesn't want to know what exactly, like, okay, I learned guitar. They don't want to know that. How did you learn it, or what skills did you learn out of it, or what kind of characteristics or qualities did you develop? That is something that they're more interested in. So you need to make your profile as interesting as possible, right? So yes, this is something that usually SPGN profile based calls look at. Try to for freshers specifically, if you have won any national competitions or state level competitions, try to get all the certificates for that. Start gathering all the certificates. If you don't have a certificate, see if you can get a proof which says that yes, you have won such a competition. Okay. Okay, colleges for a guy with 60 ACADS. As I said before, we will be looking at the colleges with the percentile and the ACADS in the next session, but because the question has come up, so with the 60 IIMs look a bit difficult. Again, it also depends on what category of student you're from, whether you're from a general category or the other category. So I do not have enough information about that, but considering that, let's say if you're from a general category, it looks difficult, but you definitely have a shot with the private colleges. For example, SPGN is there, and MDI is there, and colleges like the tier 2, tier 3 colleges, GIM, Exam, Bhubaneswar from tier 2, IITs are there. Depends on what your profile is. So this is a very generic statement because you did not give any other information with respect to what you're an engineering student or a non-engineering student. So that's one of the reasons why I cannot give you the exact answer. But at this point of time, I can say the tier 2 or mainly some of the tier 2 or mainly the tier 3 colleges are good enough for you. So TAPME, KJ Somaya, IIMT Ghaziabad, all these kind of colleges looks good. Again, you need to get the required CAT percentile. So aim for a CAT percentile of like above 90. Around 90 or more than 90, or even 88 to 90 percentile or more is good enough, because at least if this comes into place, talks about your academics, you can always show the other side, which is how well you performed in the CAT in spite of having these kind of academics. Okay, so yes. Okay, so he says he's a BCA student. Yes, so if you're not an engineer, yes, fair enough. Engineering students usually, they usually require the engineering students. They see mainly the graduation CGPA of them. So with the 60 BCA student, I would still suggest you to do really well in CAT. Depends on the specialization also. So I would say look at colleges like IIMT Ghaziabad, Great Lakes, PGDM. If you have less than 2 years of experience, you can look at colleges like KJ Somaya, TAPME, then GIM, even colleges like Exam, Bhubaneswar, even Acceleri. If you manage to get a 96 above, it's good for you, but it will be a bit difficult. You have to be answerable to the people during the interview as to why solo academics. So look at mainly these kind of colleges and you're good to go. And these are pretty good colleges, the ones which I just told you. Okay, any other questions for now? I don't think so. There are no other questions. If you have any other questions, please make sure we cannot answer all the questions right now. So make sure you just give us a call. Try to speak to us, because then we know more about you. We know more about your profile, and we will be able to give you the best kind of colleges or B schools that you can look at. Also, you can also fill up the B school the B school guidance form which we provided. So the link again in the description below. So that is also possible. Okay, no questions. So with this, we will end today's session. I'll sign off. If you like this session, please share it with your friends. As you know, we don't monetize our YouTube channel, so please follow us, subscribe to our content, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, share it with your friends. And next week, we will look at the exact percentiles for each business schools based on different categories, and at the same time we will also look at how you can fund your studies. Yeah. Okay, next week it might be a bit longer, the session next week, because I will be discussing each and every business school or the categories of business school. So we will get the communications out soon. Till then, I'll sign off for today. I hope you like this session and have a very, very nice evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, wear your mask, don't be like Trump.